Hey, chemical innovators, welcome to the very first episode of the Chemstrology, the podcast series by OnlyTRAININGS, where we deep dive into the minds behind the chemical and polymer industries, bringing you the insights, stories, and trends that matter. So, let me tell you, over the years, we have worked closely with experts, innovators, and industry leaders across the globe. And this podcast is our way of bringing their knowledge directly to you in more personal and engaging format. And today, I'm incredibly excited to kick off the things with a guest who truly needs no introduction in the world of polymers, Sarah Dee. So, she is a seasoned expert with years of hands on experience, strategic insight, and infectious passion for materials that move our world. We will be talking about trends, challenges, innovations, and yes, even the future of sustainability in polymers. So, grab your coffee or your lab coat and let's get into it. So, Sarah, great to have you here on this podcast. Let's begin with a quick introduction.
Well, hey everyone. It's great to be here with you all. As Anil just said, my name is Sarah, and I've been working with polymers for a good chunk of my career now. I love the field. It's like crafting with the building blocks of, well, everything. From the plastic in your phone to the fabrics you wear, polymers are everywhere, and it's fascinating to see how we can constantly push the boundaries of what they can do. I'm particularly passionate about the role polymers play in sustainability. We have a responsibility to make sure these amazing materials are used responsibly, and I'm excited to explore some of those challenges and opportunities here today.
Perfect. So, Sarah, let's begin. And I have some interesting questions lined up for you. Okay,
Bring them on, I'm ready.
great.
I love a good challenge. What's first?
So, let me ask you, what are the biggest shifts or the disruptions happening in the polymer industry right now, according to your
That's a great
thoughts?
question, Anil. Oh, wow, that's a big one. It's an exciting time, but a lot is happening all at once. We're seeing a huge push for sustainable and biodegradable plastics. Consumers are demanding it, and regulations are finally catching up. This means we're moving beyond just recycling and trying to truly design polymers that are kinder to the planet from the get-go. Think plastics made from renewable sources, plastics that can break down naturally, or even self-healing materials that extend product life cycles. At the same time, performance is still key. We need polymers that are stronger, lighter, and more versatile. This is driving advancements in things like nanocomposites, which combine polymers with nanoparticles to create materials with amazing properties. And then there's the whole digital revolution sweeping through the industry. We're seeing AI being used to design new polymers, 3D printing becoming more prevalent, and even robots taking on some of the manufacturing tasks. It's a lot to keep up with, but it's also incredibly exciting to be at the forefront of these changes.
Great, a lot of innovations are taking place. Okay, so
Definitely.
which emerging technologies or the materials do you believe are the game changers in current scenarios?
Ooh, tough choice. There are so many exciting developments, but I'd have to say two are really standing out to me. First, bio-based polymers. Think plastics made from things like cornstarch, sugarcane, or even algae. These can be truly sustainable alternatives to traditional petroleum-based plastics, and they often offer unique performance benefits too. We're already seeing bio-based polymers used in everything from food packaging to clothing, and I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible. The second game changer is definitely self-healing materials. These materials have the ability to repair themselves when damaged, which can significantly extend product lifespans and reduce waste. Imagine a phone case that cracks but then mends itself overnight, or self-healing coatings that prevent corrosion on bridges and buildings. The technology is still in its early stages, but the potential is enormous. It's like something out of science fiction, isn't it?
Exactly. So, so talking about this sustainability angle, so how seriously is the industry moving towards the bio-based or the recyclable materials?
It's a mixed bag, to be honest. On one hand, you have some companies that are truly leading the charge, investing heavily in research and development of bio based and recyclable materials and really pushing for systemic change. On the other hand, there's still resistance from some corners of the industry that are slow to adopt these new materials or are hesitant to make the investments needed for large scale change. The good news is that consumer demand is driving a lot of this shift. People are becoming more aware of the environmental impact of their choices and they're demanding products made from sustainable materials. This is putting pressure on companies to change, and governments are also stepping in with regulations and incentives to promote sustainable practices. So, while we're not there yet, I'm cautiously optimistic. The momentum is building, and I think we'll see some really exciting advances in sustainable polymer technology in the next few years.
Exactly. I am
I know,
also
right?
looking forward to it. And okay, moving on, let's talk about some challenges on the ground. So, what are the key challenges that polymer companies or in specific the R&D teams are facing today when it comes to, polymer developments?
You're right to ask. It's not all unicorns and rainbows, even in the world of polymers. The challenges are real. One big one is balancing performance with sustainability. Consumers want products that are durable, lightweight, and high performing. But they also want those products to be made from sustainable materials. You, like, this often means pushing the boundaries of what's possible with new materials and making compromises. Another big challenge is cost. Sustainability often comes at a premium, and making bio based or recyclable materials cost competitive with conventional ones can be tough. R&D teams are constantly working on finding innovative solutions, but it's a balancing act. Then
Oh,
there's the challenge of scaling up production. Even if you can develop an amazing new polymer in the lab, getting it from prototype to mass production can be a huge hurdle. It often requires significant investment in new equipment and processes, and it can take time to find partners and manufacturers who are willing to take a chance on something new. It's
got
not for the faint of heart, but the payoff can be huge.
got it. I agree. So, further, so from raw material shortages to the regulatory pressures, how are the formulators are adapting to these changes?
It's a real juggling act for sure. Raw material shortages and fluctuating prices can really throw a wrench in the works for formulators. They're having to get creative, finding alternative sources, exploring new blends, and even redesigning products to use less material overall. It's all about finding that sweet spot between performance and availability. And the regulatory landscape, always evolving. It can be challenging to keep up with all the new regulations, but it's essential for staying in business. Formulators are embracing new technologies to help them navigate this complex world. They're using software to model and predict the properties of new materials. They're turning to data analytics to understand consumer trends and market demands. And they're collaborating more closely with suppliers to ensure ethical sourcing and sustainable practices. It's a
Correct.
lot to handle, but tell me about it.
Correct. So, let's talk about further on this. So, do you have any? What's your take on any underrated challenge that no one is talking about, but they should be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Everyone talks about the big challenges like sustainability and cost, but there's one that I think gets overlooked, the need for greater diversity and inclusion in the polymer industry. You see, we need more fresh perspectives, more voices at the table representing a wider range of backgrounds and experiences. It's not just about doing the right thing morally, it's about making better polymers. After all, diverse teams are more innovative, they come up with better solutions, and they understand the needs of a broader range of consumers. It's time we acknowledge this and actively work towards building a more inclusive and representative industry.
All right.
Deep stuff, right?
Thanks for these honest answers. Let's talk about some innovations and research and development stories. So, tell us about a
Lay it
break.
on me.
Yeah. So, tell us about a breakthrough or interesting project that you have worked or you have seen lately.
Okay, so this one project really got my gears turning. I was working with a team developing a new type of biodegradable plastic made from seaweed. I know seaweed sounds crazy, right? But turns out that seaweed is an amazing renewable resource. It grows quickly, absorbs CO2, and can be processed into a variety of useful materials. We were able to create a plastic that was strong, flexible, and completely compostable. It even biodegraded in salt water, making it perfect for applications like food packaging or even marine engineering. What's really cool is that this seaweed plastic could actually help us clean up the oceans. Imagine using it to create nets or containers that would naturally break down after they're no longer needed, preventing plastic pollution. The project was still in its early stages, but it was incredibly inspiring to work on something that could have such a positive impact on the environment.
Okay, great. So maybe we will talk about more on this project in some other discussion. Let's move on. And let me ask you, where do you think innovation is headed? Additive technology,
And that's,
smart polymers, or the nanocomposites in particular?
ooh, great question, isn't it? It's hard to pick just one because they all have so much potential. Frankly, I think all three areas are going to see major breakthroughs in the coming years. Additive manufacturing will continue to revolutionize the way we design and create products with polymers. Think personalized medicine, on demand manufacturing, and even creating complex geometries that were previously impossible. Smart polymers are mind blowing. Imagine materials that can change shape, self repair, or even respond to stimuli like temperature or light. Think self healing sportswear, adaptive packaging that changes its properties to keep food fresher longer, or medical implants that integrate seamlessly with the body. And with nanocomposites, we're really starting to push the boundaries of what polymers can do. By incorporating nanoparticles into polymers, we can create materials that are stronger, lighter, more conductive, and even have antibacterial properties. Think next gen electronics, super efficient solar panels, and even self cleaning surfaces. Ultimately, I think these fields will likely converge, leading to even more amazing hybridized materials and applications.
Oh, great advice. So, what role do the startups or the academia play in shaping the polymer innovations as per your experiences?
You know, startups and academia are absolutely essential to the future of polymer innovations. It's like a two-pronged approach. Academia is where the blue sky thinking happens, where researchers are pushing the boundaries of what's possible and exploring new concepts and materials without the commercial constraints. They're often the ones making those initial breakthroughs and discoveries. Startups then come in and take those cutting edge ideas and figure out how to turn them into viable products. They're agile, they're quick to adapt, and they're not afraid to take risks. They bring a fresh perspective and a real entrepreneurial drive. It's a beautiful symbiotic relationship. Like a lot of the most amazing advances in biodegradable plastics have come from startup companies spinning out of university labs. It takes both to make magic happen.
Okay, great. So now let's move to our next section, that is career and the advice corner. And my first question to you is like, what advice you would like to give to the young professionals or the students entering in the polymer space?
Ooh, that's a great one. Okay, listen up, future polymer pioneers. First off, never stop learning. This field is constantly evolving. So you got to be curious. Stay up to date on the latest research and technologies and be open to new ideas. Don't be afraid to reach out to people, network, attend conferences, and always ask questions. Second, embrace diversity. The best solutions come from bringing together people with different backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives. Third, don't be afraid to take risks and think outside the box. Innovation doesn't happen by playing it safe. Be bold, push the boundaries, and don't be afraid to fail. Mistakes are just opportunities to learn and grow. And finally, remember that what you do matters. Polymers are everywhere, from the clothes we wear to the medicines we take to the materials we use to build our homes. You have the power to create solutions that can make a real difference in the world. So go out there and make it happen.
Very valuable advice, and I really appreciate it. So, further on this advice corner, what skill set do you think are underrated but critical in this particular field of polymers?
Everyone talks about the technical chops, understanding polymer chemistry, processing techniques, characterization methods, and those are obviously crucial. But there are a few other skills that are often overlooked, but can really make or break a polymer scientist. First, communication is key. Being able to explain complex concepts clearly and concisely, both to technical and non-technical audiences, is essential for collaboration, getting buy-in for your ideas, and ultimately making a real-world impact. Second, strong problem-solving abilities are a must. Research is rarely a straight path, and things often don't go according to plan. Being able to think critically, troubleshoot issues, and come up with creative solutions to unexpected challenges is essential for success. And third, don't underestimate the power of collaboration and teamwork. The biggest breakthroughs often come from bringing together people with diverse perspectives and expertise. Being a good listener, being able to work effectively in a team, and valuing the contributions of others are all vital skills in this field.
Exactly. So,
Anything else on your mind about the world of polymers? Or
yes.
are you ready?
No. Before moving to the next part of the podcast, I have one more question. Like, what keeps you motivated in this industry that's constantly evolving?
What keeps me going is seeing the potential for polymers to make a real difference in the world. It's like every day there's a new discovery, a new innovation, a new way that polymers are being used to solve problems and improve lives. Whether it's creating biodegradable plastics, developing more efficient solar cells, or designing new materials for medical implants. It's a field that's constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And knowing that I'm a part of that journey is incredibly exciting and fulfilling. And it's like, we're not just making stuff, we're shaping the future.
Great. So, I think we had a lot of serious discussion. Let's just, light up the mood, and I have a rapid fire round for you. Are you ready for it?
Ooh, bring rapid fire? Hit me with your best shot.
Okay. So, I'll start with the first question. Favorite polymer and why?
That's like asking me to pick a favorite child. Okay. I have to go with silicone. It's so versatile. From medical implants to cookware, it can handle extreme temperatures and is incredibly biocompatible. Plus, it just has a cool, smooth feel to it.
Great. Lab or the boardroom?
That's a tough one. I love the creativity and hands-on nature of the lab, but there's something equally thrilling about making strategic decisions and seeing a vision come to life in the boardroom. Can I say both?
Okay. Oh, okay.
I knew
Now,
you'd understand.
I understand. Now, next, a myth about the polymers that you love to bust.
Oh, I love this one. People often think all plastics are bad for the environment. While it's true that some plastics are persistent pollutants, many polymers are incredibly sustainable and even biodegradable. You just need to be smart about how we design, use, and dispose of them.
Great. And last question. What is your dream collaboration?
Ooh, that's a fun one. My dream collaboration would be with a team of architects and urban planners to develop a self-sustaining, eco-friendly city made entirely from innovative bio-based polymers. Think buildings that literally grow, materials that purify the air, and a closed-loop system that minimizes waste. Now that's a future I'd love to help build. So, what do you think? Does that paint a pretty inspiring picture?
Exactly. Now, that's an amazing idea, Sarah, and I would love to be part of the wonderful world that you're thinking of. And ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the first episode of Chemstrology, the podcast series. And a huge thank to Sarah for sharing such valuable insights from current polymer trends to innovation drivers and the future outlooks. It's clear that the world of polymers is evolving fast, and the conversations like this help us to stay ahead of the curve.
It was my pleasure, Anil. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
I had a blast talking about all things polymers. Hope your listeners learned a thing or two. And hey, if any of them have burning polymer questions, you know where to find me.
Exactly. And so, if you have enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow Only Trainings on all major social media platforms and don't forget to subscribe Only Trainings on YouTube so you don't miss out what's coming next. We have got an exciting lineup of industry experts, deep dives into the specialized topics, and real stories from the front lines of research and development, production, and innovations. So this is Only Trainings, and you can connect with us on LinkedIn or visit onlytrainings.com. And of course, stay tuned for more episodes that spark learning and leadership in the chemical industry. Thank you once again for listening, and until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep innovating.